Liverpool versus everybody. Happy Friday. We finally made it. We finally made it to the end of the week. The weekend is up. Lots of good games. The most important game, obviously, always is the Liverpool match versus Fulham. Um, and I think it goes without saying that Shaqiri needs to start this game. Simple as that. I think if Klopp, hindsight is always 2020, and you can always go back and say what could have, should have, would have happened. And I think, in my opinion, the main kind of concern or question for Klopp is: did you know you were going to keep Shaqiri home instead of having him go to Serbia? Did you not find that out until Monday? Did you know before, or did it in fact go down to the wire of you deciding whether that was the right thing to do or not, for all the many reasons that could be the right or not thing to do, the right thing or not the right thing to do? And if that's the case, it really makes you wonder why he didn't play a bigger role in the Arsenal match or against Arsenal. Um, I find that very strange because I was talking about it before going into. I assumed that Shaqiri probably wouldn't go to Red Star, way before we even knew we were playing, way before this game even came up, the second leg, if you will. So I saw that. I'm sure he knew that, and so I'm not really sure why he didn't play at Arsenal. But whatever, what's done is done. We haven't had him effectively for 2 games now. You can't really count the run out against Arsenal. So that's 2 games with no Shaqiri, a guy who clearly, once he plays, he is 60% of what we do right every time he plays, whether that's assists, goals, whatever the case may be. So this is pretty. This is a pretty obvious one. This is a pretty obvious one. Shaqiri must start, and I don't know how you're going to fit him in. I don't know if you're going to switch the system, if you're going to put him as a 10, if you're going to put him in the midfield with a 3, if you're going to put him out there where Salah is and put Salah up top. I don't care. Just get it done. Shaqiri needs to start. At the end of the day, as good as Liverpool can be going forward, I think it's important to have that fourth guy who's going to always trouble the other team, especially in the opposition box. We know Firmino has played much deeper this season, and so he hasn't always been in and around and a part of that attack like we wanted him to, or like we know he can be here lately. But I think that's something that's just temporary. Personally, I think that'll change, but at the same time, we need that extra guy to at least keep these teams on their toes. Um, I'm going to get into Fulham, and I think for Fulham, yet again, another Serbian. Not as tall as Pavkov, the guy who had probably one of the games of his career, of his life, against Liverpool Football Club somehow. Um, but just as strong, just as stocky, just as sturdy, just as physical. And Mitrovic will definitely try to be physical with Van Dijk. So Van Dijk's got to be ready. Van Dijk's got to be set on. And I say that, and most people would say, well, of course he'll be. He's been amazing. He's fantastic. He's world class. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. He's also human, and I think it's funny how people really try to downplay the mistakes that he makes. Granted, he doesn't make a whole lot of them, but he definitely makes them. I don't need to sit here and count the ways. People need to really start analyzing games and Virgil van Dijk's performances. Because he does have moments, very few, but he has them. And because they're very few, doesn't mean that he should not come in for criticism. It just shouldn't happen. Now, I think there's times when people can go over the top, and whatever the case may be. But Virgil Van Dijk needs to by and large always, especially against a big physical um, striking player for the opposition team, he's got to be up there. He's got to be stand tall and be physical and be strong in there. You know what I mean? And so don't want to hang on too much with the Red Star situation and what happened in that game. But at the same time, Mitrovic can be a problem. If you're going into this game thinking it's going to be a walkover, you might want to think again. At the end of the day, it's football. Anything can happen. We could welcome them to Anfield and smash them 5, 6, 7 nil. It's possible. The way Liverpool have been playing this season, that has never really looked like something we were going to do. The West Ham game to the side, even the Cardiff game. I mean, that kind of came late after they scored against us. The Southampton game, we kind of smacked them in the first half. That game was way out of reach. But by and large, we haven't really been able to just run out on teams like that. So, are we due that? I don't know. I can't concern myself with, are we going to score a bunch of goals this game? Is this going to be the game that it happens? I want Liverpool to continue winning, and I want certain players to be improving. And for me in the midfield, it's got to be. I spoke about Shaqiri. I don't know how they're going to fit him in, but I think you got to give Milner and Genie a rest. I just think you do. I think you do. Milner looks tired physically and mentally. Same with Genie. Are you putting Henderson, Keita, and Shaqiri? I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. All three of those guys are very, very hungry to play. And in Henderson's case, of course, he just came back from injury. Naby seems to be fit. And same with Naby. We got to. And I talked about this when I did the live with Jams and Gary, and it's like, Naby really needs to get accelerated at some point, sooner than later. Honestly, I mean, we haven't seen, in my opinion, half of what I think we felt like we were getting, and I know that's going to come. I know that's going to come, and I'm more than willing to realize that and realize it could take some time. But at the end of the day, having our full, minus Ox, having all our midfielders together, I want to see Naby push up a bit more. I want to see him showing a bit more, and I think I'm very optimistic that it's coming. And I think we just need it. We just need it. We need that. We need that drive from midfield. We need him to play within himself, show a little bit more confidence consistently. I think the West Ham game was a great first game for Liverpool. I think anyone watching that game, you could say that. And there was so much, oh man, look at what Liverpool got. And I think that's something that players or teams and pundits or whatever will continue to say as the season goes on. But I know there's a hell of a player in there, and I just want to see it. I just want to see it come out, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, again with Fulham, if you go from back to front, they've got some decent to really good players. They really do, and it's to me, and I think Klopp kind of echoed this sentiment. To me, it's slightly surprising, especially how good they did in the Championship. Of the teams coming up, I didn't see Fulham being as bad, and I know it's still early in the season, things can change. But look, this team will be hungry to get a win. And that manager, at the end of the day, it's twofold. His job is to have them ready, but also his job could be at stake if he loses another game. You know what I mean? And so collectively, they will be trying to get a win. It's been a while since they've gotten one. They haven't scored many goals. They conceded a bunch of goals, and it's just not looking good for Fulham. And so, best believe, in my opinion, they will be up for it. The early kickoff makes it kind of strange, I know. That's what I hear anyway from people from the UK. And how you can probably assume that it won't be the best of noise and participation in the stadium. And so, again, they would have been watching the Red Star game and perhaps thinking, we've got a big Serbian as well. He's physical. How can we get at them? Can we play our best defensive game that we possibly can play against Salah, against Mane? Firmino's kind of off right now. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. They have no real guy to drive it from the midfield. Can we box them out? Can we box them out and try to get something from a set piece? You saw what Red Star did. Can we try to get something on a counter? What can we do to really get at this team? And so they'll be up for it. They will be up for it. Sari in the midfield, Andre Schürrle, Fosu Minster, young guy in the back. Sessegnon hasn't been really lived up, in my opinion, to what I think the hype kind of was. And I know it's still early. I know you're still young. But he's not looking the best. I watched a good amount, probably about 75% of the Fulham and Huddersfield game. And Huddersfield looked really good, actually, of the pressing and all that. It really, really playing well for that manager there, David Wagner. But Fulham look like a team where this manager hasn't decided what his best 11 is. And so a lot of them might be, dreading this whole idea of playing against Liverpool. You'd think a professional football player would say, hey, this is my time to step up, and maybe they will do that. I don't know. It's all up to Liverpool. It's all up to Liverpool to right these wrongs. And what I don't need to see and hear about is players coming out on social media and saying essentially how shit they were. We know you play like shit. Just don't play like shit. Don't come out and tell me that you were shit and you take full responsibility. You should do that. Just don't be shit. Don't do that. Just play better. Give your all. And represent Liverpool a bit better than you did. Okay? And I don't care if it's people's favorite Milner and whoever. I don't need to see players coming out after games. After any game, really, win, lose, or whatever. I think social media has really it's really put in my opinion, a sour kind of feeling on football. It's just not necessary, some of the stuff people come out with. So, but I'm excited. Look, Virgil van Dijk is an amazing player, and this is not the let me kind of pinpoint the few things that Virgil van Dijk does, but um, he does make mistakes. He does. He makes mistakes like the next man, and he's got to be held accountable as well. And so I'm looking to see. We don't know what the back four is. I honestly think Klopp, he really rates Lovren. I think he really likes Lovren. I think in his mind, his best back four, if you had to say, one game, neutral pitch, against, I don't know, whoever, Barcelona, whoever, the best team in the world, whoever people think that is at the time. I think he's going Gomez at right back, Lovren, Van Dijk, and Robertson. And I can't be mad at that. In my opinion, though, I think you throw Trent back in there. I think this is a bad time you hooked him at halftime. What's up, Mercy? You hooked him at halftime in midweek, which can't be great for his confidence. You got to throw him back in there, in my opinion. You got to throw him back in there. I think we'll be trying to get on them really early, and I think Trent can be a real pivotal part in doing that. But again, I can't really disagree with if that's actually what he thinks the best back four is. But I think you throw Trent back in there, throw him in the fire, show him you believe in him if you do, and allow him to realize that Trent has to start. You think so? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think that's the best thing. I wouldn't mind Gomez starting, but I think the best thing to do is to throw Trent right back in there again. Give him another stab at it. We know what Trent can do. We know how good he is. Certain players go through rough patches, and that's just what it is. And I'm not the type that's going to say, oh, his age. No. I don't do all that. We get his age. He's growing into. He's a man. He's a young man, but he's a man. And so, at the end of the day, that's not something that I'm usually going to use as a excuse or a reason why he's not doing well. He's having a rough patch, and as simple as that. To me, it has nothing to do with the age at all. So, I think you put him back in the game. Yeah, and I think it's got to be Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. Wouldn't be surprised to see Lovren, Keita, Henderson, Shaqiri, Salah, Mana, Firmino. And I feel a little bit for Sturridge too. I feel like in that game, after missing that sitter, I think he really just felt like, man, I've got to make right now. And so he started doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. You had teammates wide open, could have put them through, didn't do it, wanted to make the spectacular shot. And I think a lot of times in general in some of these games, we're looking for that. Instead of being just flowing like we used to flow. Things just don't seem to be, they just don't seem to be in sync. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. And at the end of the day, winning a game is winning a game. So going into this one, it's not about a score prediction or can we drop 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever the case may be. I want the win, and I want to see a performance. I want to see an energy. I want to see an attitude, a hunger. I want to see players pissed off at what happened in the midweek and kind of reassuring us that that's a one-off. Allegedly, there have been meetings, and all that's great. The meetings to get together and figure out what happened, that's all fine. I want to see it on the pitch. The meetings mean nothing to me if you come out here and still have very, very low quality, very low levels of performance. It means nothing to me. We should be winning easily. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Daniel, what's up? Klopp should give Klein a chance. Yeah, I think Klein's gone in January. I just don't see that happening. I mean, and all of a sudden in a game like this, you bring in Klein in. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you're still on the roster. You might. I guess you should probably use him at some point, but I don't see Klein coming in. It's a good shout, and I'd be definitely surprised to see him all of a sudden just pop up in a game like this. But that's me. I'm glad you brought that up, Mercy. Mane is going to bang a hat trick in this game. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. What Mane's got to stop doing is all this dramatic flopping and flailing on the ground. He's got to stop that. I don't know where and why and when that's coming to his game. I don't know the reason for that, but he's falling on the ground way too much. And at some point, that reputation will always precede you. Refs, that's a fraternity. The refs, they you know what I'm saying? If they know a player is particularly always trying to find a foul, whether it's in the box, whether it's 80 yards from the goal, they will say before the game, this guy Mane's a flopper. So, and the thing is, it makes it worse on the player because when it's like the boy who cried wolf. When you are really being fouled and molested and beat down, you might not get it because they're so used to you jumping all over the place and flailing all over the place. So I don't know. Trent is out of form. He is out of form, but how does a player get back in form usually? You play back in form. I don't always think that it's the necessary because he's young, whatever, to sit him out. I personally don't believe in that. If that's a choice that Klopp made, obviously I'll support it, and obviously I'll understand it. I'm just saying, for me, I think you play Trent again. I think you play Trent again. He's got to at some point get his confidence back up. He's got to at some point play back into form. So come January, Nabil Fekir is a must. I don't agree with that, but I know a lot of people do, so fair enough. Mercy, Daniel, we don't really need him, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely use him. There's a lot of I mean, here's my thing. A lot of people are talking about this Nabil Fekir. Unless there's already a deal to get him in January, there's not a lot of these. All you people are not. Some of you people are saying things like, "We need that Coutinho replacement. We need that Fekir." That who? I mean, whenever. Well, is it ever usually a time where you can find that kind of player, that top level player? Because it's got to be a top level guy. You can't just bring in somebody who can fit that role, but he may not be. He's got to fit into what Klopp can do, and so I just don't see Klopp. That seems like a panic buy to me. I don't see Klopp going in and getting a Coutinho replacement or Fekir, really. That's just me. So, Nicole, this perfect time to be playing an easy team. I hope everybody gets their mojo back. Yeah, Klopp talked about that, the mojo. Again, I just think, I hear what you're saying, Nicole. I think we got to be really careful with this easy team thing. I mean, how many times this season, let's be honest, have we gone into a game and said, oh, this should be a breeze? And we made hard work of it. So I get it, and I think everything points to it being an easy game. Their record of conceding goals, how people are saying already, we're not even in January yet. Already they're one of the worst teams in Premier League history. Got to be careful. I've named off some players that can really play for them. Vieto, I forgot about him. They got some players, and they got some. I love what Klopp said, and I know he kind of has to say this. He's not going to talk bad about Fulham, even if he thinks they're crap. But I love how he said, they've got some weapons. And if you're a fan thinking it's going to be one of these kind of games you just sleep through, you got another thing coming. So we cannot, Liverpool cannot afford to go into these games, and we just can't. And let's be honest with ourselves, we cannot afford to go into these games. We're just not at that level yet. We're not at that level where we can, because if we were, we would see that, and we're not. We just aren't there. So there's no creativity in the midfield. We don't need to sit back and defend in this game. No, not at all. Not at all. I agree. If we don't get Fekir, okay. Is Ziyech? Yeah. Should be all. Yeah, I mean, again, is he going to be available is my thing. Is he going to be available? Does Klopp even see him as a... I mean, it's very cool for us to, kind of name these attractive players because we like to see him at Liverpool, but you never really know how these guys are going to fit into a system. And again, to bring a guy in January in that kind of role, it's different, in my opinion, to bring in a guy like Virgil van Dijk. Who can slot in pretty well as a defender in our team, as he's done. But to bring in an attacking guy that's not up to speed with how we play, I don't know. I don't know about that. But we'll see. We'll see. What's up, brother? Long time. Yeah, I agree with you. We got to be cautious, but free-flowing. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Jay, what's up? Thoughts on resting Van Dijk and Robertson against Fulham? I hope we don't do that. That's my thought. That's my thought. Listen, we've seen with that, again, and I'm not knocking anybody who played in that game against Red Star. But all I'm saying is that, in my opinion, you pick and choose those situations, those moments, and this is not one of those games. This is an important game. All of them seem that way now. Every game that Liverpool play, it's a big game. And I think... to rest them now, why? I don't really get why they would do that. And what's the other option? Are we putting Matip back in with Alberto Moreno? Is it Gomez and Lovren? Listen, I mean, I think at the end, it's the same thing I thought about Red Star. That team that played, although it clearly showed that it wasn't the best team to suit up that day, was capable of winning the game. And I think if you did sit Van Dijk and Robertson, Liverpool should be capable of being Fulham. I don't know. I want to take that risk though. And that's not a lack of belief in the team, but I don't think we can afford any more of these kind of weak links. And I say that not to be harsh, but just to say, obviously, look, Lallana's just not in sync. Sturridge, even for that matter, he's just not in sync with a kind of flow that we play. Matip hasn't played much, so you got to pick and choose when those games are. Klopp's the manager; he's a smart dude. I'm sure he'll realize that the decisions he made in that game weren't the best. Speaking of lineup, and so. I can't imagine resting Van Dijk and Robertson personally. Good question, but I just can't imagine that. The midfield should be Fabinho, Naby Keita. I wouldn't mind that either. I just feel like this is a game for Henderson to come back in, especially if he's fit, like Klopp has said. I'm sure even Klopp, and Henderson is another guy, one of Klopp's guys. I think all the guys are Klopp's guys, but you know what I mean. You know, Lallana, Henderson, Lovren, Milner. You know, these Firmino. He loves all the guys, but I think anytime those guys are out, and as soon as they're ready, he's usually itching to get them back in the game. So I feel on the Fabinho, Jane. I mean, I feel on the Fabinho shout, but I think Henderson's going to be the one that comes in. So we'll see. Rest Trent, bring in Lovren, center back, and Gomez right back. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I just don't agree. I don't agree. I think that's probably our best back four. I said that earlier. Robertson on left, obviously Van Dijk, Lovren, and Gomez. I think Klopp thinks that's probably our best. But I think you got to put Trent in again after that game against Red Star, getting hooked. You don't want to bring his confidence down too low. And Klopp knows him more than I do, of course. So maybe he feels like that won't affect his confidence not playing him. He'll be fine. He knows he's a big role in this team, and so that's fine. So either way, I'm fine. Whoever starts on that side. Again, we should have enough to do well in this game Sunday. We should. Mitrovic were really hard to deal with. Yeah, I said that earlier. We find it hard to deal with physically, which I don't understand. I don't. Why? This is why you go get Van Dijk. You have Gomez, two physical, strong center backs. So, you know, in the game against Red Star, we struggled a bit with Van Dijk and Matip, who, I mean, that's two twin towers, basically. Big, strong dudes. And we couldn't compete with a guy who's the same height as Van Dijk. I mean, for that header, it's just ridiculous. So, again, I don't want to make one game, you know, I don't want to, you know, paint this whole thing over one game. But I said it before, Mitrovic can be a problem if you allow him to. So, we'll see. We'll see. Hasm, what's up, bro? How you feeling, man? He said, I hear you, but Trent is young guy. We can't overplay him. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. This whole young guy thing, I mean, I'm not, no disrespect, but I don't buy this whole he's young. I just don't. Where's your hangout? What's your hangout? What do you mean join your hangout? Which one? You mean, you're not talking about HH's hangout, are you? Yo, Liverpool for everybody. Muntaha. What's up, Muntaha? What's up, guys? This is a very pleasant surprise. Which hangouts? You guys saying join your hangout. Which hangout? So HH is doing a hangout right now? All right, I'll jump over. Nicole, we still a long season to go. Things change quickly. Hopefully, City will lose points this weekend. Yeah, again, I hear all that, but I just can't concern myself with what other teams are doing, whether it be City, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea. We got to handle our own business, you know. And there's some tough games this weekend, and sure, I mean, you at the end of the day, I want Liverpool to be doing what they need to do to get a result. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm looking at. I'm not looking at what Chelsea are doing. I'm not looking at what City are doing. Any of that. So yeah, we are from people. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I got suspended. Yeah, they kicked me off of Twitter, so I don't have it anymore. But yeah, I just want to be clear. Are you guys on a hangout now with HH? I don't get it. I don't have Facebook either. I have Instagram. If you guys have that. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I would love to be on you guys' hangout then. Yeah, HH or not. Yeah. So send me I mean, I can get. I mean, I can give you my email. I can give you my Instagram account. What do you need, man? I would love to join you guys. Give me your Instagram. Okay, the Instagram is Dulcet Note. That's DULCET _ note. NOTE. Is that accurate? I think that's accurate. Yeah. You're just going. Oh, nice. Yeah. I would love to get on that, man. That's something we should probably try to do a bit more often too. I mean, I know you guys usually do your own kind of hangout anyway. Once we're done with the HH one and he logs off. So yeah, let me. I'll type it here. Hold on 1 second. Actually, I don't think I can type it here. Yeah, that's the problem. See, that's kind of the main reason why I'm a little disappointed. One of the reasons why I'm slightly disappointed not having Twitter anymore for the group chats and everything. Who's this? LFC Mane. What's up, man? But yeah, but send me something on Instagram. Send me something on Instagram. Dulcet note, man. Hit me up and what is it? Dulcet tone. I think it's dulcet tone. Yeah, try DULC as in cat ET underscore TONE. It's a shame I don't know my own Instagram. But Muntaha and Hazem, are you guys on Instagram? If you are, leave your thing here and I'll send you guys a message. We look lost in attack without SHAQ. Yeah, yeah. Which I mean, isn't that fascinating? I don't think anyone really thought that would be the case this season. I think a lot of people thought SHAQ was going to be that dude that just came off the bench. You know, just maybe started a game here, started a game there, but no one really thought he was going to be this guy who most of us are saying we got to put SHAQ in now. I mean, this, almost like a savior to this part of the season, which is crazy. So, but we'll see. I'm excited about it. A lot of games Sunday packed with really good matchups, and I believe we're the first. So let's get a good start against Fulham. Let's get out open on them quick, fast, get some goals up. Hopefully, at halftime, kind of have an idea of how the game is going. But also, if it's a scrappy, difficult match and blows it being traded, I'll take that too. I don't want that, but I'll take it because the win is all I really care about. All right, thanks, Mutaha. Appreciate that. Hopefully, I gave you the right name. But leave me your Instagram here just in case I don't get it or I didn't give you the right name or whatever. Hardcore, what's up? I love your energy, brother, but sometimes it's a little too much, man. It's a little too much. That's the honest truth. But I listened to your podcast here recently. I think you got some good knowledge on football, and like I said, I love your passion and energy, but it's a little too much, man. What's your thought on Fabinho? Does he play this weekend? I wouldn't mind him playing. Mitrovic can only hurt Liverpool in the air. That's all they need. That's all they need to hurt us in the air. A player like that, that's what he lives off on. That's his bread and butter. That's all you need. That's like saying Larry Bird only had a jump shot. That's all the fuck he needed was a jump shot. So I mean, call it. That's all he can do. If he can do it, he does it well. Then Serie A needs more representation. Hang on. Yeah, I know, man. I know, and I think that's why it's probably good for us to have kind of those sidebars. Virgil van Dijk will defend Mitrovic. Yeah, okay. He didn't do too well against Pavkov, but yeah, I mean, he should be able to. He should be able to do good against Mitrovic. Nah, but Hassan, that's why I like that you say what you say about Serie A. But yeah. Look, man, Muntaha and Hazem, please, man, one of you guys send me, because I'm afraid that I might not have given you the right Instagram name. So please, one of you guys, before I log off here, which will be in the next 30, 60 seconds, let me know what your Instagram is so I can reach out to you guys. Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying, if I gave you the wrong name, then it would have never came to me. Okay, I got Hazem's here. Hazem Zaha. All right. Well, look, guys, that's it. Hoping the best for Liverpool this weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon.